my name is PK and I am a Hmong Shaman student. And today we are actually interviewing my husband or my partner Patrick. So say hi.
Hello.
Yeah, so the purpose of this interview is really to share with you our experiences as a shaman and as an assistant. And if you have not already know, Patrick is actually not Hmong, so he is actually white. And so we've been together for about 7 years, I believe, right? 7 years.
Yeah, 7 years.
Yes, and I've been on my shamanic journey or spiritual journey per se, about a couple years now. So we want to take the time to share with you our experiences, especially his experience as somebody who is a Hmong and who is my assistant and my support whenever I am doing my shamanic work. And so this is a time that we really wanted to share with you. Hopefully this inspires some of you guys to start your spiritual journey. So let's go ahead and dive into our first question. So, what spiritual practice or religion did you practice before or currently?
I grew up Catholic, but I didn't really hold those beliefs into who I am today. Like I grew up going to church with my grandparents and everything, but I don't really carry those beliefs into who I am now. Like it's not really something that's really a part of my life.
Do you believe in spirituality or a god or anything of that sort?
Um, Not really. Just one of those things that do I believe there's probably a higher power than me? Yes. Do I know what it is? No. And I was never really attracted to really exploring that any more than what I had already in the past.
Okay, so that's very interesting because at some point in our relationship, you discovered that I was going to be a shaman or this is the path that I was going to take. So how do you feel about that when I came to you letting you know that I was going to become a Hmong shaman?
Um, well, I've always been like open minded about things. I'm not gonna sit here and tell someone that what they believe in is wrong and what I believe in is right because just never occurred to me to for that to be what I think. And so I was pretty open about it, not really knowing the details, but knowing that if it's something that the person I loved wanted to do, then I was going to support her.
Okay, so the next question is what is your role as an assistant and what do you do as an assistant for a Hmong shaman?
My role is like a support role. Like I help you get maybe supplies ready before you trans, or if you end up jumping on the bench, like I'm holding you while you're jumping, that way you stay safe, or I'm hitting the gong while you're going into trans, and then I'll also burn joss paper or anything else that you ask me to do while you're in trans. But I think the biggest part of being like your assistant is just it's just a support role. Um, it sounds like it'd be like a lot, but it's not. It's not a whole lot.
Okay, so that's good to know. The next question is if the roles are reversed, would you still choose to be a shaman? So if I was the assistant and you were chosen to be a shaman, would you have taken this path? And do you think I will be supportive of you as an assistant?
I don't think I would personally choose to go down the same route you chose. just because I know how much effort and time and dedication you've put into what you've been doing, and I don't know if I have like that. Um, I don't know if I have that dedication to your to your spirituality as much as you do. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but if the roles were truly reversed and I did end up going through and being like a shaman, I think I would still have the support of you.
Oh, okay, that's good to know. So if you know then what you know now of me becoming a shaman, would you have still chosen to be with me or date me if you knew what you knew now back then?
I don't know. That's a hard question because there's a lot of unknown factors. I mean, I would say yes, just because I love you and I just want to support you.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you. Okay, so what do you tell people who don't believe in this kind of work? Some people coming from different religions, or maybe they don't believe in anything at all. What do you have to say about those people that don't understand this sort of shaman work or spiritual healing? Do you have any comments on that?
Um, I don't think I have any particular comments on that. I mean, that's their own personal decision whether they believe it or not. I'm not going to sit here and debate to somebody whether they want to truly believe in something or not. That's a personal decision for somebody else to make.
Okay. Let's see. So, what do you think is one of the biggest challenges of being my assistant so far?
Um, there hasn't been that many challenges. I mean, um, sometimes like the time it takes for everything can be challenging, um, and the time that goes into it. But I think one of the main challenges is maybe like a language barrier, especially for me. When you're in that like trance state, I think you kind of get caught up in it and you speak out and expecting me to understand what you're saying, and um, it not being clear because I know we had like some conflicts in the past about like whether I'm doing the right thing or not, and I think we've hammered out those problems, but that's just one thing that I've found that was kind of challenging.
So, with my communication, because I know like whenever I'm under trance, I do speak a lot of my native language, which is Hmong. And so when I know that I need to relay a message over to you, I do say it in English. So in that sense, do you understand what I'm telling you? Or is there anything that you want me to improve on?
No, I think we're pretty good now.
Okay. So ever since I started my spiritual journey, we talked about this before too, but has me starting my journey benefited you or our relationship in any type of way? Have you see any improvement within us?
Um, yeah, I think before you started your whole transition or journey, um, I think you were very like confrontational. Like it just seemed like you're always looking for a fight or an argument. Um, and I think that was putting a lot of stress on our relationship. But ever since like you've started to do your journey, it's like you've seemed to like be in more control of your emotions, and I think that's really helped us out. I'm not saying that, but Not saying that you're the one
Oh
who's
yeah.
having all the problems. I know I have my share of problems as well.
Uh-huh.
But that's one thing I think has definitely helped us out.
Yeah, so you notice that I've been more calm, patient, more communicative with you. So like that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So far in my journey, have you witnessed anything that I have done as a shaman that really changed your perspective about Hmong shamanism?
Well, I always had like an open mind about the whole thing. But I'm just like one of those people like, well, I mean, I keep an open mind until I see something that like actually like proves something else, I guess. Which in that case is whenever you're doing your mom's spiritual healing ritual, was kind of intense because as you were like transing, like you were obviously like under your veil, and you were like yelling and screaming at and getting emotional at something that seemingly wasn't there, but maybe in your perspective it was there. But it just felt so like your emotions and everything just felt so raw that it's hard to like to say like that obviously something was going on, and I think that's very powerful.
Yeah, that was an interesting ritual. So I'm glad that you noticed that I was doing something that I would never do or normally do, especially getting that upset. So it's very interesting that even you noticed that from like the outside. And I was speaking in my native language too. So the fact that you noticed my tone of voice and the way I was behaving, like that was very interesting that you even caught that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're at the last question here. So basically, what sort of advice would you give someone who is in a relationship with a shaman or a soon to become shaman, especially somebody who isn't Hmong like you, right? So with you, you know, when we got together, we never imagined that I will become a shaman like this and do this sort of work. And so, of course, I know that you have a very unique perspective because you're coming from a different culture, different language, different, you know, background. And so, what sort of advice or anything you want to say to somebody who's, you know, coming from a different religion, different background, who is going to be a support or assistant to a Hmong shaman? So do you have anything to say in that regard?
It's kind of funny that you say that, like, at the start of our relationship, like, that we both know that both wouldn't have known that you're going to be among shaman, but I explicitly remember, like, multiple times, like, of us, like, watching horror movies or YouTube videos or anything like that. Like, she's like, you'd always mention like they have like like have like shamans and they do like deal with ghosts and stuff, and you'd like get freaked out and you're like, I could never do that. And then look, and then like here you are now doing something that you seemingly thought was like implausible for you. So I thought that was just funny to think about. But in regards to like any advice, I mean, I think it's a pretty, it's not clear cut, but I mean, if you're gonna be in a relation with somebody or marry somebody, you're responsible for giving them your support. That's what you're there for, through good and bad. And for myself, I just feel like, who am I to tell somebody that they can't do something or not to support somebody or you in your journey that's going to shape who you are, and ultimately it's going to shape who we are as people. So I think that just having an open mind and giving your support to the person that you loved is ultimately, um, the only advice that I can give.
Yeah, so many people who are not gifted or who isn't going to become a shaman, they think that they will have to do a lot, like be very involved, which can be true to a certain extent, right? And so you coming from a completely different background with really no experience with shamanism until, I started doing this. Do you genuinely feel like you are doing a lot as an assistant? Is there like a really high expectations of you as an assistant in regards to taking care of my altar and prepping up my supplies? Like, do you feel like it's too much to do as an assistant?
Um, no, I mean, we clean your altar, I mean, every week or every other week, and it just doesn't take too much time. Uh, but I think the ultimate goal is to do it together. I mean, because it's not just one person. I mean, it is. I mean, and it's their kind of journey, but you're supporting them through that journey. And that doesn't mean that you're prepping all their supplies or anything like that. Like, they'd be prepping, but you'd also be helping prep it with them. So these things that you think that would take hours out of your day don't really take that much time to do. I mean, I was kind of hesitant at first because it's um, like, this is your thing, like I don't really need to help you. But after a little bit of time, like, you just you realize that it's not that much more effort than just hanging out with your significant other, maybe talking while you're prepping things, and then comes the thing of, like, whenever they need to, like, do trans, like, either once a week or maybe twice a week, uh, and that doesn't take too much time either. I mean, it's just you being there for them. I think that's worth it, especially for emotional support for them as well. And I think our relationship has, like, strived off of that, like, thrived off of that.
Yeah, and I do agree with you that it's kind of like an opportunity to bond and build on a relationship because, whenever it's time to clean the altar and to replace the fruits and, the incense or whatever, we will go shopping together and we will choose the flowers together. We'll choose the fruits together. It's kind of like we get to choose and we get to build on it. And I see that often, a lot of times, you are actually more excited than me to pick out the type of fruits and how to set up the altar for me. And I find that really sweet and I really appreciate it. And that you also put a lot of effort into taking care of me and my spirit guides and the altar too. So I do see that you genuinely want to support me. So I do want to thank you for that. Okay. Any last words? Anything you want to share that we didn't discuss or I didn't ask you about?
Um, just just keeping an open mind, especially if the person you're with is from another religion or race. I mean, I feel like not everything is so black and white. Um, and if everything is black and white, then there needs to be more of a compromise between the both of you. But yeah, just support one another. That's all I got.
Well, thank you, Patrick, for doing this interview with me. Let me know you guys have any other questions or anything you want me to discuss about. But thank you, Patrick, for doing this interview with me, and hopefully this sort of motivates you or inspires you to start your journey, or inspire your partner, your spouse to support you in your journey as well. So, yeah, thank you for your time, and we'll talk next time.